Hello, so eventually we'll take off the side panels. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Been a little bit, and you never guess what I dived into. Decided to tackle that power steering leak. So got the calipers all cleaned up really nice, and let's see here. I got the new grommets and everything in there, all the seals. That's all been replaced, and I'm draining out the front brake fluid right now, and just about got all of it out of the front reservoir, and then we'll tackle the back later on. But you know, new pads on there and all that kind of stuff. But what I've attempted to do is, oh, let me let the security system out. Come here. There you go. Sorry about the intrusion. But what I tackled was dropping the steering rack, because we need to fix that leak coming from the top of the pinion seal. So went ahead and tapped out the bushings, got some new polyurethane ones, and upgraded, of course, and then got the bellows. I don't know, all told it was like maybe 15 bucks for all of that. And the hardest part is just getting the damn thing out. And word of advice, when you're dropping the steering rack, you do need to take out the one bolt that holds your steering column clamp on the top of the pinion. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. And there's a reason for that. There is a groove in it. Let me get it up. Hopefully it'll stay. There we go. All right, so your steering column goes down like this. There's a kind of a universal joint thing. And then there's a clamp that goes around this threaded shaft here. Well, if you look on this side, right there, there's a little half moon cutout in it, and the bolt for your clamp slides in there. So you're not going to be able to get this out away from your steering column without taking that bolt all the way out. And let me tell you, that is in a real convenient spot up in there with absolutely zero room. So my recommendation is use a magnet and get on the side of the bolt. And let me show you what I'm talking about right here. Let me grab a magnet. All right, just one of these. Get on the side of the bolt like this. So it's going to be up in there sort of like that. And then pull it out and drop it down. And then I think we'll be able to install it the same way. Now, one of the things I discovered, it just had a plain old nut on there, not a lock nut. But all the bushing bolts had lock washers on it. So I think we're gonna go ahead and put a lock nut on it and a lock washer, just to make sure, you know, don't want your steering column to come out. And then there are the shims that go in the bushings between the bushings themselves and the mount on the subframe. So we're waiting on the little $3 seal that goes. We'll have to take this circlip out, and then we'll take the washer out. And then from my understanding, that little rubber seal right in there goes bad, and that's where it was leaking from. So I've got thread lock on all this. The power steering lines, word of advice, if you're near, well, let me back up. If you're working on an old car and you cannot find parts, specifically hoses that are pressurized, whether they're air conditioning lines or brake lines or power steering lines such as this, find forklift shop or a hydraulic shop, because they can take your old hose off, your rubber hose, obviously with the correct pressure rating, and they can put it on your metal fitting as long as your metal fitting is still good. So I did that. I took this up to a forklift shop, and I didn't have the hose. I actually bought the hose from them, and for them to remove and replace that hose and clamp it back on, it was like 19 bucks. So considering a new power steering line hose is $179, I opted to do the, well, cheap to me way. And since that's the return line, and not the high pressure line that goes from the pump into the rack. Didn't appear there's an issue with that, but since that's just the return line that goes back up into the cooler and back up into the power steering pump, it doesn't really have that much pressure. So, and tell you the truth, there's just a little, I'm not sure if I can get it, but there is just a little, I'm not gonna be able to get it. Yeah, there it is, right there. See, just a clamp. So it's just a hose clamp on a nipple of the power steering cooler, and then that flows through, goes back into the pump, and then the pump, there's the return, the high pressure line kind of goes like this and goes back into the top of the steering rack. So a couple of tidbits there for future people that are working on these cars. I have taken a break from trying to get the blower motors working. I kind of hit a roadblock, so I think I'm gonna drop the passenger side again and see if there's any issue on the internal electronics, because the only other thing that I can think of is the switch that actually turns the blower motors on, because all the fuses, all the relays, even the relays here, I checked the high and low pressure cutoff switch in the back of the compressor there. Those are all okay. They appear fine. They're all connected. So I think we're gonna go ahead and drop this blower motor again. Take a look at it in a little bit more detail. I know I'm doing it twice, but see if we can't do it on this side and figure out if we get this side running, then the driver's side is a nightmare, because you've got all the fuse blocks, and then I think we're gonna have to take out the instrument cluster. And the reason I want to do that is the instrument cluster needs to come out anyway, because I don't think my fuel gauge is working. So we'll go ahead and jump the do connectors and see if the fuel, and then we'll find out if it's the sending unit, but I think it's the fuel gauge up here in the dash. So more to come on that. Power windows, they work. They're very, very slow. So eventually we'll take off the side panels and lube and clean everything up in there and see if there's any issue with the motors. And then this stupid retractable seat belts, I think the line in the little mouse here is kinked up down. The motor sits in there behind that this center column. So got to pull this all off and figure out what's going on there, because this one won't go back. The driver's side will. And of course the pressure switch in the seat for the driver's side, once you're sitting in there and you turn the key, that seat belt goes fine. This one kind of goes up about 3 or 4 inches, and there's nothing in there that's jammed or anything like that. So it's gotta be the pulley down there or the cable itself. So my understanding, that's a lifetime warranty thing at Jaguar, but they don't have any parts anymore. So we'll tackle that later on, because we're not going to throw a ton of money in this thing. This isn't a full resto job. This is just to repair what's worn out and needs replacing. I know the fan, guys. I know about that. I did get the air conditioner stuff that I was talking about last time I shot a video, last month, I guess. Where did I put it? I'm not sure where I put it. It's the Enviro AC R12 compatible stuff. So we'll be able to charge up the air conditioning system once I get everything in here figured out in the passenger compartment. Other than that, yeah, I just need to drain the rear hydraulic fluid out, or the brake lines. And a couple of different ways that you can do that. You can either run it all the way through here with the pedal depressed and the key on, and open up the bleeder on one of the calipers and blast it out that way. But you're getting all that old crud out of the bottom of that container through your ABS pump. And I think it might be a little bit better just to disconnect the line right over here, because the front is empty, but this back one, you see, it's still about half, well, it's almost full. So what we'll be able to do is this line right here is disconnect that and drain it into a container, and then of course take it off and to a recycling place. And then I'm still waiting. The shipping from England to California is taking about a month. So I bought the replacement 20 and 16 PSI radiator caps. And then after we get all that done, as far as the brakes, the steering rack, get that back up in there. Then I've got the bushing and the spring seat for the transmission, the automatic transmission. I'll go ahead and drop the transmission pan and replace the fluid. And then we will be able to go back here. Well, actually, what I'll probably do at that point is put the wheels back on, take it out, bring it back in with the car facing that way. So we'll be able to power wash the rest of this rear suspension back here, because I did leave a bunch of crud up in there. I don't want to take away any of the, the factory undercoating. That's not like on that CJ, that Jeep we worked on. This is, that's factory sealed right there. So we'll get in there. There's your shot of your Monroe shocks. Long time since we've seen that. But yeah, we need to clean up underneath there. And then fuel sending unit or gauge, and then figuring out what that's going on, and repeat and rinse and repeat. But I do love to be able to have this hood up with our new shocks, or struts there anyway. So that's where we're at right now. Come back in the future video. I wanted to catch everybody up because people have been asking me what's going on with it. That's where we're at. I'm going to fix the power steering leak, get that all figured out, and then jump in the aircon system, get the blowers figured out, recharge the AC compressor, replace that spring seat and a transmission mount, and then we'll do the transmission flush and drain and refill, and then come back here and do the rear end. And obviously we're going to put some new differential fluid in there, and then see if we've got any more seals that need to be replaced, because if we need to replace the seals, we're going to have to drop the rear suspension. And luckily I do have, it's under there, but I do have a transmission jack to be able to get up underneath there, because that thing, from what I understand, weighs about 600-700 pounds. So this car is about 4,000 pounds wet. So we'll work on that. Last bit of advice. If you all are using these ultrasonic cleaners and you're getting, that stinky shop smelling diesel fuel or whatever that degreaser is, I used a bottle of this Zep Cherry Bomb. I put it in my ultrasonic, ran it for 30 minutes. Look at how clean all the rust comes off of here, all the crud, everything. And then once they're dry, I coat them with the WD-40 and go from there. These are just shims, but look at how those bolts turned out. I mean, almost brand new. I mean, yeah, really did a good job. So ultrasonic and the Zep Cherry Bomb and your ultrasonic, and man, go to town. All right, folks. We'll leave it at that, and give me a thumbs up. I know I'm walking around just talking about random stuff here, but a couple of little tidbits for you. Replace the seal here like another video channel has shown, and then get you some polyurethane bushings for your steering rack. That'll help you out, and then obviously poly anywhere else. It's going to be a little bit more firm, but those things will last a hell of a lot longer than just the standard OEM rubber. And then anywhere where you have these, these kind of fittings here, like your brake lines and stuff, use some thread locker on there. It helps seal everything up real nice and tight. So, all right, a little bit of advice and 15 minutes in. Thanks so much. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I do, and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much.